Marijuana is a drug that has affected over 17 million people. There are those who say that marijuana should be legalized, and those who say that it should not be. The use of marijuana has a long history, with many twists and many ways that a person can be hurt by it. My name is Daniel Talbot, and I hope to convince you why marijuana should remain illegal. To understand marijuana, we must understand some of its history. According to the History of Marijuana website, marijuana was first used in China around 3000 BC. Although it was known to be toxic, it was used to treat rheumatism, gout, malaria, and even absent-mindedness. By the year 500 AD, marijuana had spread from China to India, to Africa, and then finally to Europe. However, the Muslims and Indians only used it recreationally because the Quran forbade alcohol. And then in the 1500s, the Spanish brought marijuana to Jamestown to be grown as a fiber to be used in clothes and rope. It wasn't until the Roaring Twenties that marijuana was used recreationally in the United States, and it was used mainly by those in show business and in entertainment. It was also used medically in the United States up until 1942. And in 1970, marijuana was made illegal in the United States by the Controlled Substance Act, and its use has declined from then until the 1990s and has steadily increased since the 90s. The legality of marijuana has changed so often that many people are unsure of the danger it invokes. While marijuana started out as a medicinal aid, it has been turned into a drug that affects millions today. According to the Marijuana Drug Facts website, more than 17 million people use marijuana today in America. In California alone, where medical marijuana is legal, more than 25% of serious car accidents involve marijuana. This is a much greater ratio than the number of people that use marijuana. So more car accidents are the result of people that use marijuana. Nearly 375,000 emergency room visits involve marijuana. 47% of alcohol cases in children under 20 years old that end up in the ER also involve marijuana. This shows that there's a large correlation between the use of alcohol and the use of marijuana. And a 2004 study showed that regular users of marijuana are 1,000% more likely to be in a car accident that involves serious injury. However, the injury is not necessarily the user's own. Marijuana's legality has been linked to higher injury rates. There are many different side effects to the use of marijuana. Marijuana affects the brain, the body, and even the rest of society. Marijuana can affect one's ability to be independent and to make one's own decisions and support oneself. Marijuana, while it's not chemically addictive, can be addictive. You can get addicted to the high of it. It can also affect one's ability to learn new things and to interpret different facts. It can increase anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, and even schizophrenia. While all of these can harm oneself, they can also harm those that are around us. There's a chemical in marijuana called THC, and according to marijuana, what's apparent to believe, this disturbs memory receptors in the hippocampus, which is responsible for the short-term memory. This reduces the amount of short-term memory that we have. Marijuana also affects the rest of the body. The smoke of marijuana has 50 to 70% more carcinogens than tobacco smoke does. This can cause lung cancer and lung damage. Marijuana can also affect motor skills. It can affect your gross motor skills, so like your ability to walk and to move around. It can also affect your fine motor skills, so like your ability to manipulate different objects. According to the White House, marijuana also has an effect on society. If marijuana were legalized at all, more people would use marijuana. And this would cause an increase in injuries as well as criminal charges. These would be due to public intoxication, as marijuana affects judgment and would, since it is often used with alcohol, would cause an increase in alcohol use. Marijuana would also cause an increase in violence, as it affects one's judgment and it can make one more confrontational. There would be an increased amount of drunk driving incidents, because alcohol and marijuana are often used together, and both of them inhibit your ability to think well and make clear judgment calls. All of these would cause there to be more jail time, which in turn would cause the taxpayers to have to pay more money. Marijuana has a long list of negatives involved with its use. Marijuana has a long history, and while it was used for good, it is now used as an illicit drug. There are many who are affected by the negatively effects of marijuana. There are many negative side effects of marijuana. Some are even worse than tobacco. I hope that you agree marijuana should not be legalized in America.